Mike Tyson entered prison at 285 pounds and came out a shredded 215-pound monster who knocked out his opponent in 89 seconds. He did not have any equipment, just a concrete cell, a deck of cards, and the most brutal bodyweight routine ever created. And what's insane, he said those 3 years in prison were the best 3 years of his life.
I had the best 3 years of my life in prison. Wow.
From 1992 to 1995, Mike Tyson was locked up in Indiana State Prison. The world thought his career was finished, but within 1 year of release, he reclaimed the WBC Heavyweight Championship. So what did he do in that cell? How did he turn a prison sentence into the best training camp of his life? Now, here's what Tyson did every single day for 3 years straight. And when I tell you this, you're not going to believe it. Every morning, 8 to 9 miles of running around the prison yard, rain or shine, snow or heat, no rest days. But the real training happened at night, inside his cell, and this is where it gets insane. Picture this, a concrete cell, 8 by 10 feet, barely enough room to stretch your arms. Most inmates would go crazy in there, but not Tyson. While everyone else was sleeping, he was not. Every night, 4 continuous hours of running in place, jumping, and stepping on concrete. Remember, he weighed 285 pounds when he started. That's like a refrigerator doing jumping jacks for 4 hours straight. He trained so hard that he physically indented the concrete floor with his feet. The guards couldn't believe it, but that was just his cardio. The part that actually built that crazy physique happened in circuits throughout the day. And this is where most people call BS on the whole story, because what Tyson did with pure bodyweight training, it shouldn't be possible. You see, Tyson had something most people don't. Time. 16 hours a day with absolutely nothing to do but train, eat, and sleep. So he designed a system, 10 circuits spread across the entire day, each circuit hitting every muscle group, legs, chest, core, arms, and neck. But here's what makes it even more unbelievable. He built all of that mass and power with zero weight training. Now, those 10 circuits he did throughout the day, each takes about 20, maybe 30 minutes. I mean, do that once, and it's a solid workout. But do that 10 times in one day, by the end, you've accumulated volume that most people can't hit in an entire week. When you're doing that kind of volume, especially with squats, your brain becomes your worst enemy. Wait, how many was that? Did I finish this set? Where am I in the workout? Tyson knew this was going to be a problem from day one, so he came up with something absolutely brilliant, a method using 10 playing cards that makes counting impossible to mess up. The system tracks for you. By the time you finish, you've done exactly 100 reps. This method spread through every prison in America, then to fighters and athletes. It went viral before the internet even existed. So let me show you the famous deck of cards method. As I said, all you need is 10 playing cards. That's it. Line them up on the floor in a straight line, about 3 to 6 inches apart. It doesn't matter what cards they are. They could be all aces, could be random cards from your drawer. You start at the first card, squat down, pick it up, stand back up. That's one squat. Now you walk to the second card with that first card still in your hand. Squat down and place that first card on top of the second card. That's 2 squats total so far, but you're not done with the second card yet. Now you squat down again to pick up the first card and then squat again to pick up the second card. That's 4. Now you walk to the third card while holding both cards. Squat down to place the first card. That's 5. Squat down again to place the second card. That's 6. And by the time you reach the fourth card, you're doing 4 squats to place cards down, then 4 more to pick them all back up. Do you see what's happening here? With each card, you're adding more squats. The pile keeps growing, and every time you move to the next card, you're squatting more times to put cards down and pick them all back up. But here's the genius part. Your brain never had to count a single rep. You weren't thinking, okay, that's 47, 48, or wait, was that 48 or 49? The cards did all the counting for you. When you finished with the 10th card, you did exactly 100 reps. No more, no less. Now, the main question. What were the exercises that Mike actually did in his circuits and how many reps he did? Because I've been dancing around it this whole time. So let me break down what Tyson's 10 daily circuits looked like. He started with squats, but not your typical gym set of 10 or 15 reps and you're done. It was 200 squats per circuit. And remember, this is just one circuit out of 10 he's doing throughout the day. So by the end of the day, he's hit 2,000 squats total. After that came push-ups, 50 of them per circuit, which sounds reasonable on its own, right? Like 50 push Push-ups, you can handle that. But when you're doing this 10 times a day, every day you're looking at 500 push-ups daily, and your chest and triceps start to understand what real volume feels like. Then things get even more brutal with the core work, the sit-ups. But Tyson wasn't doing 30 or 40 and calling it good. He was cranking out 250 sit-ups per circuit. Every time. That's 2,500 sit-ups by the time he goes to sleep. His abs had no choice but to turn into stone. Now in a prison cell, you don't have fancy dip bars, right? So Tyson used what he had, the edge of his bed frame, hands behind him on the bed, feet on the floor, lowering his body down and pushing back up. Simple but effective. 50 bench dips per circuit, 10 circuits a day. That's 500 dips, absolutely destroying his triceps and shoulders. So when you add it all up, this is where people usually stop believing the story. Mike Tyson was doing 2,000 squats, 500 push-ups, 2,500 sit-ups, and 500 bench dips every single day for 3 years straight. But now here's what matters for you, because I know you're sitting there thinking, okay, cool story, but I'm not in prison. I have a job, I have responsibilities, I can't possibly do 10 circuits a day. And you're absolutely right, you can't do what Tyson did, not right now, maybe not ever. But that doesn't mean you can't use this system. If you're a complete beginner, someone who maybe does 20 squats and feels it for the next 3 days, you're not starting with the full deck of cards method. You're starting with 5 cards, not 10. 5 cards gets you exactly 25 squats. That's your baseline. Do that 3 times a week. Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Give your body time to recover and adapt. Stick with that for a month, just 5 cards. Then add the 6th card. Now you're at 36 squats per round. Keep building like that. 1 extra card every 4 to 6 weeks. Within 6 months, you'll be able to handle the full 10 card deck, 100 squats in 1 round without your legs giving out. Now, if you're intermediate and you've been training for a while, you can handle some volume. Start with the full 10 cards, but only do it once, not 3 rounds like Tyson, just 1. That's 100 squats 3 to 4 times a week. Once that feels manageable, and I mean really manageable, not just I survived it, add a 2nd round. Now let me tell you about the one thing that made Tyson look absolutely terrifying: his neck. For reference, the average man's neck is about 15 inches, but I'm talking about a 20 to 22 inch neck. Tyson's neck was literally thicker than most people's thighs. You see, in boxing, a strong neck is the difference between getting knocked out cold and absorbing a punch that would drop most fighters. When you get hit in the head, your neck muscles stabilize your skull and prevent your brain from shutting down. He only used 2 exercises. That's it. Every single day, Tyson would spend 30 minutes doing wrestler bridges. And if you don't know what that is, picture this. You lie on your back, plant your feet, and arch your body so all your weight is on your head and feet. Then you rock back and forth. It's one of the most intense neck exercises that exists. Then he did the neck curls. 50 neck curls per circuit for 10 circuits a day. That's 500 neck curls daily. He'd lie on his back or stomach and just nod his head up and down for reps, sometimes with a towel for resistance or just body weight. And when you're doing 500 reps a day, your neck has no choice but to grow. Because when you see someone with a neck that thick, your brain registers it immediately like, this guy is dangerous. It's primal, it's intimidating, and it's exactly what Tyson wanted. Back in the 1980s, under Cus D'Amato and Kevin Rooney, Tyson followed what might be the most insane training schedule in boxing history. His day started at 4 a.m. While his opponents were still asleep, Tyson was already running 3 to 5 miles, then 10 interval sprints, then 10 box jumps. And then, before even going back to sleep, he'd bang out 500 push-ups and 500 sit-ups. This was all before breakfast. The psychological warfare started before the sun came up. Tyson loved knowing his opponents weren't awake working. D'Amato believed boxing was 90% mental, and Tyson bought in completely. But the real work started at noon. 10 to 12 rounds of full contact sparring, no headgear, fresh opponents rotated in every 2 rounds so they stayed sharp while Tyson got worn down. And these weren't light sparring sessions. D'Amato's philosophy was no practice fights, just fights. Sparring with young Tyson became known as a dangerous job. People got hurt. Then, between noon and 5 p.m., he'd do another 4 to 6 rounds of work on the heavy bag, speed bag, slip bag, focus mitts, and D'Amato's willy bag, a special invention with numbered zones for practicing combinations. Remember those calisthenics circuits from prison? He was already doing that before prison. And here's the part that sounds like science fiction. D'Amato had Tyson doing regular hypnosis sessions. During hypnosis, D'Amato would drill affirmations into Tyson's subconscious. "You're a fighting machine, Mike, the best fighter God has ever created. You are ferocious. Your intention is to inflict as much pain as possible." The mental training was just as important as the physical work. So what did Tyson eat to fuel all of this? Because you can't run 8 to 9 miles every morning, do 4 hours of cardio at night, bang out 2,000 squats, 500 push-ups, and 2,500 sit-ups daily without proper fuel. And this is where I'm going to disappoint a lot of you. During his prime years under Cus D'Amato, Tyson ate like any serious athlete would: steak, chicken, milk, high protein to rebuild muscle, and enough carbs to fuel the training. Nothing fancy, nothing exotic, no $200 supplements or complicated macro splits. But then Tyson went to prison, and his nutrition situation changed completely. In prison, Tyson had privileges. The administration gave him access to whatever food he wanted because of who he was. He could have eaten anything. But he chose to eat primarily one thing: canned tuna, every single day. Now you might be thinking, oh, he discovered tuna was the perfect food for fat loss and muscle building. But actually, the reason was way more practical and honestly kind of dark. Tyson was paranoid about his food being tampered with. Think about his situation. Mike Tyson, one of the most famous athletes in the world, locked up with inmates who might want to hurt him, guards who might not like him, people with grudges. And you're going to eat food prepared by who knows who. That's a risk. So Tyson stuck with canned tuna, factory sealed and safe, so no one could mess with it. Because I've just thrown a ton of information at you: prison circuits, deck of cards method, neck training, 4 a.m. runs, hypnosis sessions. And you're probably thinking, okay, cool, but what do I actually do with all of this? Here's what. First, let's be real about your situation. You're not in prison with 16 hours of free time. You're not a professional athlete with a full training team. You don't have Cus D'Amato hypnotizing you every night. You have a job, responsibilities, maybe an hour or two a day to train. So we're going to take Tyson's principles and scale them to your life. Step 1, pick your starting point. Remember what I said earlier? 5 cards if you're a complete beginner, 10 cards if you've got some experience. 3 times a week, that's your foundation. Once that's comfortable for a month, add the other exercises from the circuit: push-ups, sit-ups, and bench dips. But scale them way down from Tyson's numbers. Start with 10 to 25 reps depending on your level, not 50 or 200. On your off days, add light cardio, 15 to 30-minute walks or runs, nothing crazy. Every 4 to 6 weeks, add one thing: more cards, more reps, an extra training day. One change at a time. That's how you build without burning out. Step 2, nutrition. Keep it stupid simple. Tyson ate steak, chicken, and milk in his prime. Tuna in prison, high protein, and enough food to fuel your training. Don't overthink it. Step 3, neck training comes later. Don't jump into wrestler bridges on day 1. That's how you get hurt. After 3 solid months of circuit training, then add 5 to 10 minutes of light neck work twice a week. Build slowly. Tyson's 30-minute daily bridges came after years of conditioning. But here's the thing: none of this works without the one thing Tyson had in that cell: discipline.